Welcome to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is going to cover topics of viruses and bacteria and how to be healthy and prevent diseases. So we're going to start off with viruses. So Section 1 is going to go into in-depth about viruses here, and we're going to start by looking at what a virus is. A virus is non-living. We covered that last chapter, but be aware it is a non-living particle. It's going to enter into a cell and reproduce inside. They will affect all types of organisms from bacteria, archaea, and even to your eukaryotes, your animals, plants, fungus, and protists. So no organism is safe from viruses. Characteristics, because they are non-living, they do not have all the 6 characteristics of living things covered in the previous chapter. We do not call these living organisms. They are simply viruses, I guess, is the best way to put it. They can reproduce, so they do meet one of those 6 criteria. However, they do not reproduce on their own. They do need to be involved in a cell in order to do so. They have a host-parasite relationship. A host is an organism that provides a source of energy, and the parasite is an organism or other living or non-living entity that causes harm to the host. So a parasite has to be having a negative effect on the host. You can think of your face huggers from Alien if you wanted. Those were parasitic. Your body would be the host. They would be negatively affecting you. Then taking and providing you as the host would be providing energy for them. So viruses are very similar. The cell would provide the energy for them. They do not have energy on their own, and they are detrimental to the cell. They are not a good thing to have for if you are a cell. They come in many different shapes. Our book goes into 4 specific types: the round, the robot-like, the tube, and the bullet-like. As you can see with our graphic, we do have different examples of viruses that are going on. Some you might recognize. You have rabies, which is a bullet-shaped virus there. But they do come in these 4 different shapes. If you remember from the last chapter, we looked at a bacteriophage briefly. That would be a robot-like shape. Viruses also come in different sizes. However, all viruses are going to be smaller than a cell. So cells in unicellular organisms are going to be bigger than an individual virus. Viruses are so small that we are going to measure them in nanometers. 1 nanometer is equal to a billionth of a meter. And viruses range in size depending on what kind they are, but again, they are all smaller than a cell. They range from 20 nanometers to over 200 nanometers. With this little graphic, you can see we have this big red splotch in the corner. It represents a human blood cell. This is one single cell, and you'll note all the different viruses that are smaller than them in size. Over here is a bacteria cell. You'll note the size of different viruses compared to that. So viruses are going to be on the smaller end of things that we are looking at. And naming them is next. Organisms went with Carl Linnaeus's binomial nomenclature. Here, viruses are not living. They are non-living entities, so we do not use binomial nomenclature for them. So names will vary based on the type of disease they cause, who discovered them, or even the organisms they infect.